Hi, my name is ColdBeer and let's start with rust. I couldn't find any rust in my house, so there is a cat for you. Rust. The only aim here is to survive. Everything wants you to die. The island's wildlife, other inhabitants, the environment, other survivors, and so on. So do whatever it takes to last another night. The game itself is an MMO in very active development, with a guaranteed content patch every month. From regular balance fixes and improvements to AI and graphic updates, to adding content like new maps, musical instruments, trains, and drones, as well as regular seasons and events. There is always something interesting or dangerous, or both, happening on the island. You'll find procedurally generated worlds with map editor support. You can host your own servers, ride a vast array of vehicles from cars and trains to hot air balloons and helicopters. You can build houses, farm, or do almost anything you want. The game is huge. Not as huge as your mama though. Pacific Drive. This is a very interesting title with mechanics you won't usually see in other games. In this driving survival adventure you face supernatural dangers on each expedition into the exclusion zone. Make your base of operations in an abandoned garage, where you'll research new parts, customize your station wagon and chart routes deeper into the zone. As you gather precious resources and investigate what's been left behind in the zone, you learn exactly what it takes to survive in this unpredictable hostile environment. All the vibes here lead to Strugatsky brothers and their roadside picnic story. Many games draw inspiration from it, from legendary Stalker to a recent gem Tunguska the Visitation. And if you like the theme about some stranger things happening in this specific area, I recommend you to watch the movie named Annihilation with Natalie Portman. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Dave the Diver. This is a casual single-player adventure RPG featuring deep-sea exploration and fishing during the day and sushi restaurant management at night. Here you will dive into the ever-changing blue hole and use a harpoon and other weapons to catch fish and other various unlucky creatures. You will upgrade and forge equipment with collected resources and sushi restaurant profits to prepare for the dangers that lurk in the unknown. Here you will also meet quirky but lovable characters and a story full of jokes and other humorous scenes. The game is a combination of pixel and 3D graphics that provide an interesting and original art style. The adventure is set in the real marine environment of a blue hole, filled with over 200 kinds of sea creatures, so catch and make sushi from all of them. Blasphemous 2. Awakened in a strange new land and displaced from your final resting place, you thrust back into the endless cycle of life, death and resurrection. There is no other option than to explore this perilous new world and uncover its long-forgotten secrets. There is nothing game-changing or very innovative in the second part of the Blasphemous, but you know the rule, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Your journey starts anew in a series of enchantingly grotesque landscapes, oozing gothic charm and littered with unforgiving traps. How you tackle the labyrinthian world remains at your discretion. There is no wrong turn to be made, only scores to settle. Taking down your enemies won't be easy, but the game is offering more chances to customize and improve your skill set, along with several new unique weapons to wield, so victory might just be within your grasp, but probably not. Subnautica. When I first tried to play Subnautica, I had some mixed feelings. I don't really like to craft things in games. Well, I do, but only when it's not the main way to obtain things in general. And all that coral and fish gathering was really boring for me. I wanted to explore, and the game prevented me from doing that because I had no means of diving into the depths, and if I tried, I always died. So for me it took about 2 actual years to get all the equipment I needed for exploring. I can only imagine that some kid can do that in a day or so, but that's not the way for me. I got bored really quickly every time I turned the game on. But that boredom was eradicated one day when I found some really interesting things deep below that, you know, I couldn't reach. So I finally understood why this game was so hard to play for me. It gave me no motivation to proceed. And then when I finally found one, Subnautica transformed into a beautiful world. So addicting that in a week I spent more time here than in the past 2 years. And I continue to do that for weeks to come. So for all the new players, just carry on with that boring part and you will be rewarded. I can without a doubt say that this game is 10 coldest beers out of 10. You have all my recommendations. Although keep in mind that even if it looks so colorful and pretty, it has a lot of horror elements and is not meant for kids. A Plague Tale: Innocence. EA will take control of young Amisha and her little brother Hugo in a journey through the darkest hours of history. Haunted by Inquisition soldiers and surrounded by unstoppable swarms of rats, you will struggle to survive against overwhelming odds. Dead, rotten bodies lay everywhere, and rats, oh, those creatures can and will eat anyone alive who does not carry a light source. As I always say, this is a bit unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You know, rats are no vampires. I used to own one, it liked bathing in the sun rays.
Well, what if those are vampire rats?
I never actually thought about that. Anyway, keep in mind that the atmosphere here is grim and dark, so if you are a sensitive person, it may prove a challenge to play. Game tend to pull the ropes of emotion, and if you let your guard down and allow it to do its dark job, it will control you like a puppet. But in general, all that darkness is cool and original, keeping in mind all those airy fairy unicorn games people are used to play these days. Third Age of Wonders game. This franchise, along with the Heroes of Might and Magic, is one of the most beloved among turn-based strategy fans. Here you can choose one out of 6 classes and try to conquer and enslave the other 5. That won't be easy, except if you play on easy, then it will be easy. Here you'll find many unique and well-known skills and monsters, multiplayer mode, many races to choose your allies from, also level editing tools and countless unique scenarios you will make by yourself using random map generator. Although I must say that Age of Wonders is fun to play, but it doesn't feel very balanced. The game emphasizes warfare and exploration, but doesn't give you enough resources to actually do these things without waiting forever. You know that feeling in Heroes games where you just wanted to buy a black dragon, but you had no money, so you skipped several turns so you could finally afford it. But then Monday came, the population grew, and you felt short with your money again. Age of Wonders invokes the same feeling over and over again. Still a wonderful game. 8-bit Armies. If Command & Conquer spent the night with Minecraft, 9 months later 8-bit Armies would be born. This is a fast-paced RTS, a very colorful strategy arcade game that is easy to learn for players of all skill levels, so even for you. Here you will collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of tanks and planes, and ultimately crush your opponents. Here you'll find 25 offline campaign missions, 12 co-op missions to play with your mother-in-law, and 10 multiplayer maps that support up to 8 players online. Although speaking about players online, you rarely find more than 10 in total, so if you want to play multiplayer or co-op, you will need a friend or some stranger from Discord. But if you don't have any friends, and of course you don't, keep in mind that the game also has pretty good AI you can play with or fight against. Not as good as Skynet, so it won't take over the world, but it can take over your dignity, so be sure you are up for the challenge. 8-bit Armies is easy to understand and is user-friendly. Also, it is a really well-aged game.
Assetto Corsa.
This is a racing simulator with a very affordable price. If you like realism more than arcade fun, this may be your spoon of potato salad. For example, the circuits have been developed using laser scan technology in order to guarantee the highest level of accuracy possible in reproducing real-world racing environments. And despite the game being a bit on the older side, its licensing agreements somehow still work. Not like in some other games, if you know what I'm talking about. So here you can drive BMW, Ferrari, Audi, Lamborghini, Mercedes, Tony, Saladini and many other famous cars. Well, maybe not the latter, but hey, still a lot. The game surprised me with a vast amount of controls it supports. For example, you can play it either with a steering wheel or with a keyboard and everything in between. The range is truly here. Anyway, if you like racing sims, this is a must. And if you have no idea what racing sim is, for this price you can just try. Maybe it's for you. Riftbreaker. Here you are, the Riftbreaker, an elite scientist commando inside a powerful mecha suit.
Ooh la la!
You have entered a one-way portal to a distant planet at the far reaches of the Milky Way. You have a purpose of building up a base that will allow travels back to Earth and continue colonization. So you are tasked to construct a two-way rift back to Earth, because living on a planet without cold, refreshing beer or potato salad is painful, and that shouldn't even be a legal thing. Although you encounter a bit of a bigger problem than the absence of beer, which is monsters, thousands of them. The game itself is a hybrid between StarCraft, Diablo and Satisfactory, a really great and entertaining game. Palworld. The game has hundreds of thousands of reviews on Steam and the score is above 90%, which makes this game a true masterpiece. Yeah, we all know that this is a Pokemon game without Pokemons, but that changes nothing. Palworld will enchant you with a massive open world where you can peacefully live alongside mysterious creatures known as pals, or risk your life to drive off a ruthless poaching syndicate. Pals can be used to fight, or they can be made to work on farms or factories. So you're tiny slaves. What a nice concept, but wait, it gets worse. You can obviously sell them or even eat them, and the game calls this peaceful co-living. Well, who am I to judge? Anyway, Palworld is not just an easy walk in the park, it's a survival game as well. So in a harsh environment where food is scarce and vicious poachers roam, danger awaits you around every corner. To survive you have to be careful and make difficult choices. You know, you have to eat your pals if things go south a bit too far. So use your pals as you want. Farm, build factories, or commit crimes and become a mighty slaver. In online co-op mode, up to 4 players can play together. And additionally, a dedicated server can allow up to 32 players in one game. That's how you make friends, if you don't have any. Jupiter Hell. Here time flows only when you act, just like in the famous Superhot, although Jupiter Hell is a turn-based roguelike game where you get to kick demon butt on a space station. The retro graphics and creepy audio design create an atmosphere that's scarier than your mother-in-law when she's missing her favorite spoon for potato salad. And the gameplay is as tough as the steak you make. Yeah, the roguelike genre is here for a reason. You will die, and die again until you do not die, and then repeat. But keep in mind that with a ton of weapons and abilities to choose from, you can mix and match until you find the perfect combo for yourself. And sure, the game can be unforgiving, but that's what makes it fun. Who needs a therapist when you can scream at your monitor and blame the game for all the mistakes you made in your life that literally lead you to playing this game? Although the game itself is very nice, more than 90% of reviews on Steam are positive. Syberia: The World Before. The game consists of 2 parts. In the first one you will play as a girl who is beginning a brilliant career as a pianist. However, shadows begin to appear over her future at the dawn of the Second World War, and the next part of the story will take action to a year of 2004, where you will play as the girl imprisoned in the salt mine. A tragic event propels her into a new adventure in search of her identity. So you'll play in both timelines and explore a fantastic and poetic world with its amazing sceneries. One thing I can say for sure, this game is beautiful. Of course, not as beautiful as you, my friend, but still looking very good. The art direction is at the top level, and it alone should spike your interest in this adventure game with a great story, especially if you like to solve some complicated puzzles and not crack hardest riddles. Oh yeah, sadly the game is not for the weak, it will squeeze your brain power quite well, and all that is accompanied with a symphonic soundtrack composed by Isonzo. You probably know his tracks from Syberia 3, Fallout, Dragon Age and Prince of Persia. Also on Steam you can try the free demo version. Aliens Fireteam Elite. Have you ever wanted to be a protagonist in the Alien movie? Well, I doubt that, I really do. And if yes, what is wrong with you? Anyway, here, after so many fear-infused hours in alien isolation, you can finally get some revenge on these terrifying creatures. You will kill hundreds of them, so it's nothing like the movies. Although it's really fun to play if you have a friend or two. You can play in single player as well, but I assure you that if you want full experience, you will have to find some friends. I know that may be mission impossible, but you can try anyway. You don't need real friends, all you need is some Discord channel with the same-minded people. So here you'll be exploring some friendly planet filled with friendly fauna and live in harmony all together. Except you don't. This game is a carnage where you will have to battle through hordes of different types of xenomorph, customize your character and gear, and level up as you try to contain this ever-growing threat. I especially like the diversity of enemies in this game. They really took their time to create some nasty monsters. The game itself is basically Left 4 Dead just with aliens. I think it's great, and 81% of Steam reviews are also positive. Isonzo. This is a World War I game based on the Italian front. Inspired by the 2-year struggle for control of the Isonzo River Valley and the Alps, the game will lead you across stunning landscapes as you choose your path to victory. Cut your way through barbed wire, flank your enemies by following mountain trails, or man a mortar to blast a way through. Shape a dynamic battlefield by laying sandbags and wire, placing ammo crates, deploying trench periscopes or sniper shields. Fight with more than 30 unique weapons, survive poisonous gas attacks and intense intense artillery barrages. People on Steam are saying that mostly here you'll run up the hill for 20 minutes and then you die. Somehow that is still a fun experience. Game is a proud owner of a very positive review score, so no tricks here. Jack Move. This RPG is a unique blend of gritty cyberpunk storytelling, turn-based battles, and beautiful modern pixel art. Here you'll become a vigilante hacker. When the overreaching mega corporation kidnaps your father, you have no choice but to get him back, before it's too late. I don't know, too late for what exactly? Let's hope for the worst. You know, to spice things up a little. So you have a lot of questions. Why was your father researching digitized consciousness? What does this corporation wants to do with it? What is the purpose? Why? When? With who? And finally...
Very nice, how much?
So all these questions circle in your head and only you can answer them by, you know, getting the answers. Most of the time by force. Anyway, the campaign will take around 6 hours to finish and the review score on Steam revolves around 80%, which is not bad. Murky Divers. This is basically a Lethal Company clone with a Subnautica setting. You'll dive with a team of up to 4 friends or strangers to the bottom of the ocean. Your mission is to remove all dead bodies from abandoned labs and erase any evidence on their failed experiments. And those experiments are what left all these lab rats dead. So prepare to meet some nightmares of the deep. They are really creepy. All in all, this is a horror game to play with friends, to scream together and generate nervous laughter afterwards. Also, your oxygen will run out way quicker than you expect, so there are a lot of ways to die, but you should avoid that. Dying is not what you want. And another fun part is your submarine. You'll have to navigate blindly only with the help of sonar to avoid dangers. Great game to finally acquire the fear of the ocean. Although be sure you are okay with motion sickness. This game is known to generate one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you're used to old-school Assassin's Creed games, keep in mind that Odyssey isn't like the first titles, and among your enemies you will encounter various monsters and mythological beings from legends, like Medusa for example. The game really has some witchery vibes. Here you'll also have weapons with supernatural abilities like increased strength or the ability to instantly knock out an opponent's shield. So here you'll explore ancient Greece, from lush vibrant forests to volcanic islands and bustling cities, and start a journey in a world shaped by gods and men. Here decisions will impact how your Odyssey unfolds. You can play through multiple endings thanks to the dialogue system and the choices you make. Customize your gear, ship and special abilities to become a legendary assassin. People on Steam are praising smooth mechanics and great visuals, although the story is like your cousin, a bit dull and naive. Paradise Killer. On Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews, so that should keep your attention. This game is set on an island outside of reality and revolves around a rogue human civilization hoping to resurrect the dead alien gods. That already sounds crazy, but the gameplay and the story somehow makes sense and is truly captivating. The game was nominated as the best adventure of the year by PC Gamer, got 9 out of 10 from IGN, and is a true gem for everyone hungry for amazing story-rich game. People are saying that this is one of these games which you would want to forget, and in a good sense. If the mind eraser was already invented, this would be one of the most popular things to erase from your memory so you could play it again. 9 Parchments. This is a cooperative action RPG game of magical mayhem from the creators of the Trine series. Here, runaway apprentice wizards seize the opportunity to complete their spellbooks by going after the lost 9 parchments. Super powerful spells meant to be wielded by the most powerful mages. So as these newbies rapidly acquire powerful new spells without learning proper safety measures, it's natural that their hasty progress results in plenty of deadly accidents. 9 Parchments combines real-time spell shooting action with usual RPG elements. Here you level up your character and collect magical loot, filling your wardrobe with zillions of wizard hats and powerful staves. People on Steam are saying that this is a super entertaining game to play with your friends. Doesn't matter imaginary or real ones. Although keep in mind that if you play with imaginary friends, you will need another pair of non-imaginary hands. Why must everything be so complicated? I don't get it. Abzu. From the art director of Journey, Abzu is a beautiful underwater adventure that evokes the dream of diving. Here you'll immerse yourself in a vibrant hidden world, bursting with color and life as you descend into the heart of the ocean. But beware, as you swim deeper you will confront the dangers lurking in the depths. Nah, I'm kidding, you can't actually die here, and you have no fighting skills as well. This game is a pure adventure, a real member of the walking simulator family. Well, swimming simulator I guess. Although keep in mind mind that without a controller it is almost impossible to play it. Even with controller it may prove to be a challenge at first, but after a while your brain will adapt and you won't be thinking all the time which button you actually want to press. The adventure is a bit naive, so the game is suitable for children as well. Also for your mother, just help her with the controls, otherwise she may say something like,
I don't understand anything. I want to go up, but it goes down. This BS is still happening even if I'm pressing all the right buttons.
no you're not, so let me show you. So if you played Journey you probably will like Abzu as well. This is a great game, you have my sincere recommendations, although keep in mind that this game is just like your Ding Dong. Very short. Slime Rancher 2. It seems that the second part of Slime Rancher is just as a hit as the first one, and more than 90% of positive reviews won't let me lie. Here you'll continue the adventures as you journey to Rainbow Island, a mysterious land brimming with ancient technology, unknown natural resources, and an avalanche of wiggling, jiggling new slimes to discover. As you attempt to unravel the island's secrets and uncover its true purpose, you will build, ranch, and farm within a beautiful conservatory, whose sparkling glass walls give you a full view of the prismatic paradise you now call home. So collect slimes never seen before on the far range. You know, like the bouncy cotton slime or the aquatic angler slime or a potato salad slime. Well, no, that even sounds wrong. No slime on my potato salad, please. Amnesia, the bunker. If you played Alien Isolation, then you know the drill here. There is a monster and it's chasing you. The bunker is a way smaller game than Alien Isolation, but it dwells on the same idea of an elusive monster inhabiting the same place as you. And if in Alien Isolation you found yourself in a giant space station, here you are trapped in a cramped underground tunnel net under the battlefield of the First World War. Don't forget that creators of Amnesia Frictional Games were the pioneers of horror games without weapons. Remember Penumbra? Yeah, that was a gem. So I have no doubt that developers of Alien Isolation took inspiration from the Frictional Games while creating their weaponless Xenomorph game. And now Frictional Games took inspiration from Alien Isolation's monster. The circle has closed. The game is really fun, although after seeing the monster a few times it becomes less scary. So it becomes really playable by various pussies like us. It's a wonderful survival game, and if you like the concept, you are up for a treat. Necesse. Here you'll find an infinite procedurally generated world full of mysteries to uncover. As you grow your settlement, you will also lead expeditions against pirate kings, dragons, fallen wizards, and people who write in all caps. Here you can spend your days crawling through dungeons, searching for treasures and raw materials for equipment crafting. Also, you may answer the call to adventure, traversing the seas and seeking out great foes to test your prowess. Recruit settlers with particular skills and work alongside them to mine a wide variety of ores. Craft gear tailored to your preferred playstyle and establish a flourishing, amazing village. But knowing you, there is a big chance that your village will be puny and pathetic. No offense. Okay, a little offense. What are you gonna do, huh? Well, jokes aside, people are saying that the game looks simple, but it's actually really complex and fun. More than 90% of reviews are positive. Ship Graveyard Simulator 2. Here you will destroy mighty ships, recover materials, and earn good imaginary money. Because earning good, not imaginary money, is only in our imagination. Yeah, subscribe for more pep talk. Anyway, in the game you can expect new bigger ships, new gameplay features and improvements. Also well-known mechanics from the first game that have been significantly improved. So if you never played the first part, there is no point of doing that now. So with a hammer and a torch in your hands, you will discover that there are a dozen kilometers of wreckage on the coast and thousands of tons of steel that you have to sell. Once I listened to a podcast about black matter detectors, and scientist Katie Mack said that for these only old steel of ships made before the nuclear era of humanity are a viable material, because they don't have radiation the new stuff has, and that steel from these old ships is the best thing for science. An interesting fact, no doubt. The game has around 80% positive reviews and a free demo version you can try. Ancient Planet Tower Defense. It is time to take a break, you know, to rest your mind from various zombie games, from shooters or complex 4X strategies, and just entertain yourself. And tower defense games are one of the best ways to achieve that. It is not a new title by any means, it was released in 2015, but so was the third Witcher. They knew how to make good games back then, that's for sure. So here you'll find 40 unique levels and plenty of diverse enemies and features. Also you can upgrade everything, and the art style is great, also a very positive review score, and this price is probably the combo you needed today. If you like tower defense games, it may be your spoon of potato salad. Thalassa, Edge of the Abyss. I am almost sure that you never heard about this game. It is not favored by Steam algorithm in any way. So as developers say, this is a single-player, first-person psychological drama set in 1905. And for me it is kinda obvious that this is a walking simulator as well. Nothing bad with that. Just keep in mind that here you won't be running shooting Cthulhu minions. Any minions to be fair, because the game is set in our reality and has almost no fantasy elements. So here you will explore a sunken vessel and try to crack its secrets. Just don't read the game's description on Steam, the first part is a spoiler fest. Another case of saving money on a good commercial writer. They never learn. Anyway, this looks like a really fun game, but if you have your doubts, you can play a free demo on Steam. The Darkside Detective. Here you'll have to tune your sixth sense and join the Darkside division to investigate supernatural, bizarre and dangerous cases of spooky Twin Lakes town. Flesh-hungry tentacles, creepy cultists, demons and occasional missing sock are no match for the Darkside Detective, which is you, and the game promises to have at least 3 jokes, and I can promise that there are way more, at least 4. You know, the game is made using cutting-edge, new generation pixels that look the same as usual pixels, and along with the game, if you buy it, will handle you 1 free curse removal. So if you are cursed, just buy this game and the curse will fade. Works up to 7 generations. Anyway, here you'll find 9 paranormal, supernatural, bite-sized micro cases to investigate around the town. Will you crack them, or will they suck your IQ to the limits? It's up to you and your IQ, if you have any. Suggested amount is to have it a bit above room temperature. Game has above 90% positive reviews, although few dudes are complaining that the game likes to crash at the worst moments, so save the game as often as you can, or you know, live by the rule.
Brave, do not save.
And risk your time like a boss. Dead by Daylight. This is a multiplayer 4 vs 1 horror game where one player takes the role of the savage killer and the other 4 players play as survivors, trying to escape the killer and avoid being caught, tortured and killed. Survivors playing third person have the advantage of better situational awareness. You know, when you go near the corner of the house, you can see what is happening without exposing your silly face, and the killer plays in first person. I personally think that this concept came from studying nature. Various herbivores have peripheral vision and the predators are best at seeing what's in front of them, so they took this concept and implemented it here. Anyway, the survivor's goal in each encounter is to escape the killing ground without getting caught by the killer, something that sounds easier than it is, especially when the environment changes every time you play. And if you play as a killer, you must help survivors to escape safely, except not. Doraemon Story of Seasons. You will create bonds with town residents, and while doing so you will enjoy the heartwarming interactions through each character and the part they play in the story. Building a farm, raising horses and cattle like in other games isn't the only thing to do. You will explore the town, go on adventures, catch bugs and much more. The game is a proud owner of very positive reviews on Steam, so it's a huge possibility that you will also like it. There is also a second part named Friends of the Great Kingdom, which in general is offering more of the same, so if you like the first part, the second one is a no-brainer. In this survival open-world crafting game, you will engage in dynamic, skill-based action RPG combat with a free-moving camera. You will craft various weapons and armor, build a fortified base, gather resources and explore dangerous places. And when you need a bit of a rest, you can find peace in cultivating your own farm and raising animal companions. You can tailor your character to suit your preferred playstyle, whether you are a dedicated warrior, craftsman, fisherman or a fearless farmer. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and balls to be a farmer. Have you seen Clarkson's Farm? Great show, by the way, I can totally recommend. So in Lens Island, with every choice you make, the world around you evolves and changes. It's a very beautiful game, so conquer this land and build your own tiny ColdBeeristan here.
And now thank you for watching, subscribe,
And now thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.